A thread by Carlos Osuita. Look at this, President Trump and Mrs. Trump. Never seen anything like this in my 58 years. From Breitbart. It's personal. Trump supporter chokes up talking about him at hospital. I agree with her 100%. One, you help people who had been ignored for decades. Two, you stepped in because nobody else would. Three, you paid a huge cost for your decision to help us. Four, you are family. I can't speak for the young woman in the video, but here's my own definition of you being family. To me, you're a living ancestor, meaning you're my contemporary. These are my maternal great-great-grandfather and his two brothers. All three fought to liberate American slaves twice, once in Bleeding, Kansas, and once in the Civil War. They were bankers who volunteered twice. All three were 100% disabled by war wounds in the Civil War. They're my ancestors. I can appreciate their heroism, and I feel a connection to them. But of course, I have never met them, and they died long ago. The photo was taken in the early 1900s. I have no memory of either grandfather, since both died when I was an infant. I can count the numbers of times I saw my grandmothers. We lived all over the world and visited them very rarely. In your case, Mr. President, there's an immediacy to the sense of connection that doesn't require personal interaction. Does that make sense? I don't feel that you're my leader, and I'm absolutely fine with the necessary boundaries, but there's still a personal connection that exists without the need for interaction. I can tell you, without a doubt, what 100% of Trump supporters would answer if polled with the following question. What should Donald J. Trump do after his second presidential term? The answer? Take a long vacation with his family. Those of us who understand what's going on are not confused in the slightest. We're under no illusions. The people who don't understand are the ones with illusions. They're operating at a terrible deficit, and that is how bad politics have gotten. I saw an ad with some poor schmuck saying that we had to get back to normal. God forbid, 1,000 times. Everything you're fixing is what my brother and I have been talking about for decades. He's a commercial aviation nut, and I'm a military buff, as the expression goes. Technology transfers. The only saving grace is the sheer corruption and incompetence of two unnamed countries that had everything handed to them on a silver platter, but lacked the gumption to capitalize on it. Steel, you know all about it. Can't build commercial airliners if the wing spars keep snapping in half due to the crappy steel. I love this old thing. The loudest aircraft ever built, a direct descendant of the Boeing B-29 Superfortress, which is why there's still a tailgun position, the Tupolev Tu-95 Bear. A wonder of aviation. In 1952. Now it's a harmless museum piece. The crew still wore World War I leather flight helmets until 10 years ago. My brother and I always ask each other, why is this happening? Now we know the answer, but the only thing that matters is the whole mess was stopped thanks to our contemporary ancestor. As much a hero as my war-disabled banker soldier ancestors. Be well. Be strong. Greetings to the lovely First Lady and all the many children. Family. Everyone.
I will be the greatest president that God ever created.